Okay. Yeah. Today is Sunday, December the 10th, 12/10 of 2023, and we are recording this because of all the changes that have transpired on TikTok. And right now, if you haven't created an account on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, then you really need to reconsider that just because of all the changes that are happening on TikTok. Now, I'm still a firm believer that you should focus on just one account and one platform so that you can really build community, network, and be able to grow faster and better and easier. But at the same time, this last 3 weeks have been a nightmare on TikTok. And while some people say that the views are low, is not necessarily true. And I mean, I would like to believe that just the views are low, but that's not the case. Because if I look at other accounts and other accounts are high, so I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So this is my account. I'm going to be totally transparent. There's times that I've done a video and it's gone viral. And there's times that I do whatever TikTok says that I should be doing. And then let me know when, Mary, would you let me know when you're able to see my screen? Okay, good. So right now, these are some of the things that you want to change. So in the past, my name was Maria Lupita Passive Residual Income, Maria Lupita Residual Income. Well, once the new TikTok quote unquote terms and conditions happen, then I was trying to click on my screen, but it's like it's connected to my phone. So right now, right, if you look at my name, if you look at my name, I had to change it because if I don't change the name, so my name is fine, my first name and last name, which you should always brand yourself with your name. But if after your name, whatever you're calling yourself has the word money or anything with income, the algorithm is going to flag you and suppress your content. Now, TikTok is all about their clients, and we are TikTok's clients, right? We are TikTok's own paid employees. So if I create content and a lot of people are watching my content, TikTok is going to disregard the rules and continue pushing that content because they want more clients attracting. So if you produce content and people are watching it, even if you're saying the word money, even if you're cursing, even if you're saying the certain words that are dingable with and bannable with TikTok, TikTok will ignore all of that because of the views. But if you don't have the views, like right now, my account doesn't have the views, then I have to work harder on my content than I normally would. So one of the things is that I had to change that I have to make it more visually appealing. And I also have to give people, this was insight from Rachel Peterson. Raise your hand if you know who Rachel Peterson is. Okay, good. Rachel Peterson is an expert on social media that has made millions of dollars on social media. And her style of, well, actually, I'll show you. Her style of social media is different than mine. Rachel, okay. So she's so big that you just put the word RACH and she comes up. So as you can see, she has 1.3 million. Her when you look at this, all of this has been changed because before it had something different, but because of how TikTok has changed everything, she did an audit on my account. So my account represents her account, if that makes sense. So some of Rachel's things that, oh, I'm still doing the same thing. So some of Rachel's things, she does a lot of trending stuff.
Are you kidding me? 200 views again. Video views are just the ultimate. This is hands down. If you grew up in a, what's a small accident?
So this is one of the things that she was suggesting that I do. So I'm not really much about the dancer. I've done some dancing and I've done some moments of awkwardness that that's how they feel for me. So for me, I'm not the lip singer or the lip sayer. There's some that I think that they're so cute that I have to do them, but it's not what I want to be known for. Now, Rachel does really good at that, and she's gotten to have a lot of attraction. So one of the things that she said is that we have to have things like this. Are you able to hear it, Mary? The sound? Okay. So she said, do something in the background with words on text that are relevant to your audience. So my spin on doing this, right? So for instance, she's saying 10 more viral hooks, TikToks, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Here are some secrets too I'm about to share and things like that. So instead of me doing a dance, what I decided to do instead was that I opted to do instead manifestation
I like it
videos.
when I'm aware that things are always working out for me. The more I'm aware that things are.
So I'm taking what Rachel suggested, which you want to add. There's 4 V's that you want to add with 1 C. The 4 V's are this, and you want to write this down. You want to have anything that is viral. So if trending sounds or trending messages or trending lip singing or trending lip saying, you know, there's times that people are saying different things. Rhonda is really good about doing those. So you want to have content that is viral. Now, content that goes viral on TikTok also applies to Instagram, Andrew. It also applies to Facebook, and it definitely spills over to YouTube. So it's not only for TikTok, it goes all around. So when you need it to go viral, you need to have variety, right? So if all I'm doing is selling my roadmap, because one of the things that I promote is I sell digital products and passive residual income. Those are the two high ticket and low ticket for passive residual income. So if all I'm doing is every day that somebody comes to my account is that I'm selling, I'm exhausting people and I'm losing people literally. So I have to have so I have to have variety on my content. I have to have viral content because that's entertaining for my audience. I have to actually find a way to be vulnerable. So for instance, one of the I just had a coaching session and I was saying that anybody here is an introvert or a closet introvert. Anyone here? Let me know let me know because I can't see comments. Let me know if you're raise your hand if you're an introvert. Oh, perfect. Yay! No way, Diana, you're an introvert?
Kind of.
No way. I would never think of you as an introvert. So for those of us that are introverts, and me, I'm a serious closet introvert, being a digital marketer is absolutely the best job in the world. Because just imagine, instead of you going to a job or to a networking meeting or to a sales meeting or to meet with somebody in person, you just get to talk to your camera for a living. That's like the ultimate dream, and you never have to leave your house. You never even have to leave your bedroom if you don't want to. I mean, I see so many creators that are literally filming from their bed. So you want to have vulnerability. So vulnerability has to do with you saying, I'm an introvert, or you saying, I don't like filming, or you saying, you know what, my husband left me, or you know what, I've never had love in my life. Something that makes people feel like lean in and feel like they're getting to know you. So vulnerability. So an example of what Rachel has done in her stuff is that Rachel is very big about showing her mom's belly. I don't know if you're familiar with her content about some women, not all women, but some women after pregnancy, they have a very, what's the proper word? Their belly just gets very distorted, for lack of a better word of saying it. So Rachel has been very big about talking about her tummy being disfigured from having children. And that's one of the things that got her.
So I just spoke to them.
So another thing that she's very, very big on is that she talks about being, what's what's that, that mental, bipolar. She's very big on talking.
Bipolar disorder, yeah.
She's very, very big about talking about bipolar disorder. She's very big. Go ahead, Mary.
And ADHD, I think that she talks about that too.
Yeah, so she's big on talking about ADHD, about bipolar, about being on meds, about going to the psych ward, about turning, checking herself in. So those all fall in the place of being vulnerable. Does that make sense? Any questions so far? No? Good? Okay. Now so it's viral, vulnerable, variety, and then the other one is that you have to add value. But some of us, what we end up doing is that we get stuck adding value about just what we're selling, right? So if I'm not paying attention, I will just go on and on and on and on and on about digital marketing and making money on digital marketing. Well, now TikTok doesn't want that. In my audience, so if you think your views are down, it's not that your views are down. It's that your audience is saying, I don't care what you're talking about right now. So my audience right now keeps telling me, look, Maria, what you're saying, we don't care about. And I mean, it's a big, it's a big dag in my ego, but I have to analyze as to if my contact is very similar to this gentleman that is completely new to social media.
This is an example of
he knows a lot less than I do, and I'm not trying to minimize his skills and his knowledge, but I've been in social media for years. I mean, I've taken training. So, I mean, just the years alone of experience, I have a lot more insight, a lot more knowledge, and a lot more experience than this gentleman here. But this gentleman, his views are not low. He has in about less than 3 months, he started October 4th. Since October 4th to now, he has 22,000 followers. In just a little bit over 2 months. I've been on TikTok working hard since 2021, and I have 14,000. Now, when you look at his content, he's very entertaining. He's very colorful, so I'll warn you. So I'm not saying that you have to be colorful, but he's definitely entertaining. So let me show you, like, for instance, you look at the first two, he just dropped.
This is an example of a fantastic.
So this one he just dropped an hour ago.
Period.
This one he just dropped an hour ago. This one he dropped yesterday.
I made more money last month.
Now he now has made over $100,000 with one product. Over $100,000, right? So am I going to be so high on my ego that I'm not going to let a young 23-year-old new person teach me something? So what I do is that I've been following his model, and
there are so many ways to
look at his video, right? So let's take a look at this video. This video,
marketing, it's great. It really just.
This video is 1 minute and 18, right? I mean, 1 minute and 18
There are
seconds.
so many ways to start digital.
So immediately, one of the things that he does is that there's no pause, there's no dead air from the moment that you hear his voice. So you almost, it's like you caught him in the middle of a sentence, right? You caught him as he was having a conversation with somebody else, and that's how you got caught. So now you want to lean in and talk to him. Now he started walking around his house. Before, he used to come from his car. Now, do you probably ask yourself, all these people come from their car. The reason a lot of us do it from our car is because it's the best sound that we can have. Believe it or not, it's the best lighting. Now, another thing that you want to keep in mind, his face right here, his lighting is always great. If you have, like, for instance, I'm going to pick on Rhonda right now, and I'm going to pick on Jeremy because I can. So one of the things that you don't want to do, Rhonda, is that you don't want to have so many shadows on your face, because that makes you look not that you're not attractive, but it makes you less attractive for the person watching you. The same thing for you, Jeremy. If you're so dark, right? It's good to have dark. So the rest of my let me show you. So if you look at the rest of my office, it's dark. There's no lighting. So that's why I'm able to actually have better lighting on my face, because then all of the lighting that is in this room is not divided. So now if I was to close my door and make it darker, that's even better. So you want to have everything else dark except one light shining on your face, and you want because otherwise what TikTok does is that it dings you for low quality content. So if your sound or your face, or you have a mess behind you, the mess behind you, I'm telling you, that doesn't ding you as much, because I've seen a lot of creators that have a hot mess behind them and TikTok doesn't ding them as long as they have good content. But if your face is really dark or your sound is not good, the algorithm and the audience is not going to watch you as much. So he does a really good job. And this gentleman, he's only 23. He does 1 to 3 videos a day. Can you guess how much time he spends on these videos? And this is why I chose him as our model. Can anybody guess how many hours? I almost gave it away. Put it in the comments. I want to see each one of you. Give me with your fingers or in the comments how much time this gentleman is spending per day in making videos. 1 hour, 8 hours. Anybody else? Thank you, Mary. You're the best.
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
I don't know.
6 hours. Okay. He literally spends anywhere between 5 to 7 hours creating 3 videos.
Oh my God.
But you can see it. So I'm going to go through a whole video of his, and I'm going to jump around for a little bit, but you can see it.
It's crazy. It really just depends on your goals, no matter what.
So right there, even though you may not see the work that it took, but he had to cut from one clip to another clip. And he had to cut it right at the beginning of that sentence and right at the end of that other sentence. So he actually had to edit that cut and that jump. That takes time. So he's really giving audience what people want to get. So they're not, it's a TikTok world. Not that TikTok is ruling the world, but TikTok has changed the landscape of all of social media, including YouTube. And our model has done a terrific job, and he has spent the time on a given day. Now, everybody says, I want to make as much money as he is making. Well, this young man, our model, has made over $100,000 in 8 weeks with one product. Can you guess in the comments how many hours he spends on average working on his business on a daily basis, 7 days a week? Can you drop it in the comments? I want to see. Mary, I think you have some insight. Anyway,
I listened to all of his videos. I've been memorizing what he says and does.
And I can see it, Mary. I can see your shift. 40 hours a week, okay. 14 hours a day, Rhonda? So a day, how many hours a day do you think he's putting in? How many hours a day?
6.
Would you say he's putting in? How do we know he actually makes the money he claims he's making? Drew, because we actually have the records to show it, because we have proof. And you can see it because I promote the same product that he promotes, and you can see the number of people that have purchased from him, and you can see the number of people. So he wouldn't have the growth that he's having and the explosion that he's having if he wasn't having the amount of sales that he's having. And you can watch it from day one right? So you can rewrite history, Drew, and that's a really good, a really great question and a really good point. But you can go back and rewrite history. So he's been creating content from day one when he launched both of his products that he was doing. And then he started seeing that one product was selling more than the other, and one was having more results than the other, and one was teaching him more than the other. This gentleman spends on a minimum 13 hours, 7 days a week. Now, what a lot of people tell me is this: well, Maria, if I had 13 hours, I would do that. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because I know people that have 13 hours and they're not putting in 13 hours. I'm not putting 13 hours straight up of the work, the dedication that he's doing, because he's not just doing busy work. He's really, when you look at the next clip, right?
So the first step is always to pick your niche. The top 3 best-selling niches are
So here he takes everything, the course, in the one that he and I both promote. He takes everything he's learning from that course and he drops it in his videos. So he's really taking the knowledge that he's learning and putting it in a video, but he's really crafting that video so that it actually makes sense to the listener.
And the SEO goes crazy for
For
it.
example, I'm in the wealth niche, but that's way too general. So I had to pick a subcategory.
So again, now he shows you a fork. Whether he did this piece intentional or not intentional, he did leave it there intentional, and you'll see why.
Within the wealth niche. This is so disgusting. Sorry. So I chose.
Right? So now he brought you in that he's not perfect. He just showed you a dirty fork. So all of that gets people to be like, oh, did you see the model, blah, 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 right? So he really spends a lot of time crafting his videos. To just do 1 to 3 videos, he spends a lot of time. And I've been recrafting, me and my clients and our inner core have been crafting his, because why would you want to reinvent the wheel when you have someone that has dedicated so much time and energy, and he has the results to prove this, right? So let me keep
How to make money online. So all my content revolves around trying to help people make money online. Like if you wanted to choose.
So now I'm going to go to the end.
You're going. I really suggest you look into digital marketing. It's changed so many lives. It's a proven business model. You can expand it so easily. The internet's only getting bigger. You might as well take advantage.
And now take a look at his face. He's using sunlight. Now I don't suggest that you do sunlight, because you can't always control sunlight, but you can always control a dark room. That's when you go to a movie set or anything like that. The actual place where they're filming is always dark, and then just the lighting, unless you're going to be filming from your car, or unless you're going to be filming in a house that is well lit. So the lighting on his face is appealing. That is a huge factor on whether TikTok is going to ding you or not. So let me close it.
All the info you need is at the top of my page if you're interested in learning how. There are.
So at the end, he doesn't sound salesy. At the end, he's just telling you, if you're interested, come and grab it. Now, a lot of us were trained to do the complete opposite of what he's doing. A lot of us were trained to be sell, 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 close, 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 close. That repels people. So again, we go back to, you want to have viral content, things that are going viral on TikTok or the platform of your choice. Drew, which one is your primary platform that you work with?
Probably Facebook. I don't have a TikTok account.
Oh, so what made you come to the TikTok training?
I was thinking about doing it. I just never did it, just because of the whole China spy you, and a lot of states are trying to get rid of TikTok. So, I'm not doing dances or any other moronic stuff like that. So,
Do you
So
do
here-
Instagram or anything?
what's that?
Do you do Instagram or just YouTube?
I got Instagram.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah, I got LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or X, so a bunch of other ones as well. I just never did TikTok. I thought about it, but I was just like, they spy on. I was just like, I'll wait. So
So I'm gonna give you an insight that I just learned thanks to TikTok. So there's a chip on all of our phones. Guess where that chip, whether it's an iPhone or a non-iPhone, where do you think that chip is made?
China.
And what do you think is in that chip? That even if our phones are completely shut down, I just learned this today. And this is like, I was just like blown away. And this is completely a side note, right? I was like, what the freak? So whether your phone is off or what the funnel, whether your phone is off or not, the authorities to be, whether it's China, United States, whatever country you want to call it, right? There's powers that are listening to our conversation because there's a chip in our phones, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Google, all of them are listening to us. Now, again, everybody has a personal preference, right? But if the politicians are on TikTok, if the celebrities are on TikTok, and everyone else, I think is 2/4. I think it's 2/4 of United States are on TikTok. And I'm just saying this for your benefit, and Drew, I'm sorry, Drew. I'm saying this for your benefit. Why would you want to leave money on the table when it's the fastest way to grow and pick up money if you're wanting to make money online? That's just my 2 cents, you know. And even though right now a lot of us are upset with TikTok, we are running a business before we run our emotions. So one of the things that I can tell you is that I spent a lot of years on Facebook and a lot of years on Instagram, and I've never had the results that I've had on TikTok, and I've never made the thousands of dollars that I've done with TikTok.
I guess maybe I'll be getting a TikTok account.
What's that?
I guess maybe I'll try TikTok.
Well, I'm going to tell
And
you
we
what.
have tons of stuff to help you too, to set one up.
Yes. Well, and I'll show you. So the best way to create. Oh, I just realized I'm not showing you my video. Hang on. So one of the things that you want to do is that you want all of your handles to look the exact same. Not because you want to be plain and boring, but because you don't want to create friction. Right before this one, I was doing a coaching session, and my client was asking me about, you know, her name on Instagram, their name on Facebook, and it all conflicts. Now, think about this from a client's perspective. If I see Drew in Facebook, and then I see Andrew on TikTok, and then I see Shreves in Instagram, I'm gonna like, who the heck is this guy? He doesn't even know who he is, right? So I may not process through it, but if you create friction on people, they're gonna go somewhere else where they, you know, like anywhere where you see me is my same picture. So let's talk about the picture. The picture here, and thank goodness that there were some things that Rachel gave me good feedback. So she says, you want to have a close enough picture, but not so close that you don't have any background to attract. So you want to have a solid, bright, fluorescent color so that your picture stands out. Because when you look at pictures, right? So if I look at my followers, and who do you think stands out right away? Obviously, Jesse Itzler, because he has a solid color, semi-solid color that makes him stand out. Now, if we keep on going down, if you have something where you just have letters, people don't identify with letters unless you're Apple or unless you're X. But even Elon Musk has a picture of himself. I think I could be wrong. Now, if you look at other pictures here, if I look at Victor Riches, do you think I'm gonna like, trust, and feel like I know Victor with a V to his name with some pink around him? No, absolutely not. So you wanna take a look to make sure. Oh, look, Elon Musk is following me. I'm joking. I have a lot of Elon Musk that they profess their love to me and all this other stuff. So you want to make sure that your picture, it shows that is a light picture, that it shows you well, and that the background, so like if you look at this lady, Make Money With, right? Make Money With, she's wearing a white top and a white background. She washes out. All I can say is a lipstick. So you want to have a color that pops, and then you want to have a background that is a contrast to yourself, and have a bright color. So whether it's blue, a hot pink, a hot green, I mean a vibrant green. So you want to do that. Helping wall moms. So that right there, she knows what that means, but the rest of us don't. Right? So you got to talk to your audience, not what you think you want to say. And that's something that is a disconnect to a lot of us, because a lot of us want to say things that we have. Another thing that is great here is that you don't want to have anything with numbers. Cecilia Jacob 01. Now she's making me think. You don't want to have any numbers in your name. And then Make Money With C. Before 2 weeks ago, this was not a problem. 2 weeks since the current present, having the word money, and again, when I say this, I have to say that with the disclaimer that our model and a lot of other people are saying Make Money With. So because he's attracting a lot of followers, TikTok is not dinging him because he's a good client for them right now. TikTok wants people engaging. Every platform wants people engaging. So if you create good enough content that people are going to engage, they're going to look the other way. I'm sad to say, but that's just the way, the world is unfair, and this is how the world works, right? But for those of us that are trying to get in the good graces of our clients, our audience, and TikTok, then we want to avoid the things that are going to be hurting us. So if you use the words make money, income claims, saying how much money you're making, even though this model does it every single video, it could possibly ding you, and it could even worse, have your account completely banned. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, one of the things that you want to do is that I modeled this after my audit with Rachel Peterson. She says that you want to have a description of what you cover. So I do affiliate marketing and digital marketing, but I promote a product that I'm very honed in right now, which is the Antra X. So I have Antra X, so that if people are searching for that, the SEO is going to help me. Now, another thing that I grab from other people is that not everyone wants to go and put their name, their email on my link, because believe it or not, some people, well, actually, I have two clients in here. They're like, well, Maria, I didn't want to put my name on it because I don't want to get a bunch of spam. People have very fascinating ideas about receiving emails, right? I go and put my email everywhere because I want to know what other experts are doing, what other people are doing that is working. But other people are uncomfortable, or just they don't quote unquote want spam. So what I realized was that other people were putting their email address. Now I created a specific email, and it has to be short, no numbers, no mental math. And by mental math, let me explain. Ask Maria Lupita. So that's not hard, because they can look at my name, even though my name is not a common name in English, they can look at it and they can say, oh, ask Maria Lupita, in Lupita. They can spell that. But if I said, talk to Maria Lupita, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, tomorrow at gmail.com, I just lost everybody. Because that is too many letters, and the more letters you put on anything, the more chances you're giving the human to be able to make a typo error. So you want to make everything short, and that makes logical sense in their head. If you're speaking in English, you want to use English-speaking words as much as possible. I can't do anything about my name because that's my name, and I want to brand my name. So I use my name, even though in English it's not as common, but I just have to fight with one word, which is the Lupita versus Maria and Lupita. So you want to have, once you go to 1,000, then you can put your link. I suggest that you add your email, and I interrupted myself. One of the things that you want to do is that you want to make an email specifically for people to reach out to you, just for the purposes of reaching out. Because then when you do that, when you have an email just for people to reach you, then you can see if you're gaining traction, right? If you have an email for, say, 6 months and you get one email address, well, then that's not working. So then you don't want to use that space, because then you're wasting that space. You want to use it for something else. So every single character that is on right here on your profile, imagine if you were paying $1 million for that space, which is marketing, right? I used to have to pay for marketing. So every character that is here has to have earned its value to be there, has to have earned its keep. So if that email after 6 months hasn't given me any results, then I'm going to change it to something that is going to give me better results. Okay. And then as
And
far as
Maria, was it 80 characters that's in that bio? I can't remember.
80 characters, correct.
80 characters. So it's just think of it as prime real estate, guys. You
Exactly.
want to make sure that it is giving you the most bang for your buck. And what she's saying is, if you test it out and the email part's not working for you, then of course you're going to take it out, try something new, because maybe the next thing you come up with will work.
Exactly. Okay, so we talked about the words that you cannot say now, hashtags. It used to be that if you used a bunch of hashtags, that worked. It used to be that if you used make money with, that worked. Now it could potentially get you banned or suppress your content. Now it also depends who you are, but if you're starting out, it's better to err on the side of caution than not. So one of the things that you want to do is that you want to use 3 hashtags for attracting the people that relates to the product, the video, the content that you produce. Now, if I say, and I had to think about this today, if I say how to make money online, and I'm saying nothing about making money online on my content, and I just drew people to my content about how to make money online, and my content is about how to not have to go to the bathroom when you're sleeping, because that's a video that I made, right? That's gonna tick people off. They're gonna be, what the funnel? Like, I just wasted, I don't have problems. I'm 17 years old. I can sleep 20 hours, right? So you want to make sure that your hashtags and your SEO words match your content, because you have to think like a business owner. Every single person that is coming to your content, even for a second, you can lose them forever and never come back, or you can have them binge your content. Now, another thing that you want to keep in mind, do you think that TikTok also uses people's age in their algorithm to push or ding your videos? Absolutely. So TikTok uses everything in their power. TikTok is the highest type of artificial intelligence that I've ever seen. So for instance, if I was a man, and I was watching TikTok for the first time, I'm going to get a bunch of young girls inappropriately doing things, because they know that men are unfortunately drawn to that, right? If I'm a female, they're going to give me things that are more up to females. Now, the way that you train TikTok to work for you versus you work for TikTok is that as soon as you see something that you don't want to see, and never tell your plus person, like if you're married in a relationship, do not be a male and go to your wife or your person and say, oh my God, all I get is young girls in inappropriate poses, because this is why you don't want to do that. TikTok is based on behaviors and interests. So whatever you're watching is what your eyes, what your behavior is saying that you want to watch more of. So if all I'm doing is watching Matt Rife which right now is controversial. Oh, I need to go back to controversial. If everything that I'm doing right now is watching Matt Rife, guess what TikTok is going to do? They're like, we want to keep her hooked. So they're going to give me a lot of more Matt Rife and a lot of good looking guys, a lot of good looking young comedians, because that's what I said I'm interested in. Now, last night, I wanted to take a break, and I went and I watched that new Netflix movie, May December. It's a sickening movie. And I wanted to like get out of that dark place from that movie. So I started watching other movies. So I found this movie about this woman with cancer. And then all that was giving me, it was more of that movie. I mean, of that series, right? So TikTok is the smart, unlike Instagram, unlike YouTube, unlike Facebook, especially like Facebook. Facebook will give me the same 20 people that have been looking at my content. On TikTok, Drew, what you're going to find is that you can actually block anybody that you know, anybody that could know you, anybody that would know you. You can block them all, and you can just focus on just giving content to the specific people that you want to attract. And you do it by the behaviors and interests that you watch. Go ahead.
And do not let it connect to your phone's contacts. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely don't do that. So when it asks
Explain
you
that
immediately,
farther, what you
Drew,
mean by that, Mary.
yeah. Well, in the very, very beginning, like, cause I just set up a whole, different TikTok account, and one of the very first things it says is, hey, want to know more, all of your contacts and see when they're on TikTok? Say no, because they're probably not your ideal client. Your ideal customer, your ideal client will be found for you because of all the things that Maria just said, through your interest and your actions and your behaviors, because it's patterned. So it's going to feed you who you show it that you need to see. And so that's why you definitely don't want it to, like, you don't give a hoot if it shows you your sister's cousin's brother from high school. You don't want that. You want to only see the people that are genuinely interested in the same thing that you are. So, I'll stop.
And in addition to what Mary is saying, one of the things that you want to make sure is that if you're going to go binge on pleasurable content, you want to do that on a backup account. So when I want to go and like last night that I was watching bingeable, like wasteful time, and I wasted 5 freaking hours. TikTok is made to be yes, 5 hours.
We resemble that. We all know. Come on, we could all admit that. Like, I actually call it going down the rabbit hole. I'll tell Riley, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I lost 4 hours. I don't even know what I just did. It is addictive. So yes, definitely do it on a backup account.
Wait,
So
so
it's designed to, go ahead, Drew.
you can have 2 different accounts and they're not gonna like spy on each other and figure things out, or
Well, so I'll show you. It's better to show you than to tell you. So one of the things that you want to do is that, so yesterday when I was benching content for the sake of just watching content, so the brain works on, like, the more that I get something done, the more that I want to do it, because the brain wants to work, and that's how just our brains as humans work, right? So if I finish a video from beginning to end, my brain says, I want to do more of that. I want to finish another one and another one and another one. And because TikTok gives you 5 to 8 second pleasures and then 1 to 3 minutes pleasures, you're going through content and finishing a lot of stuff that your brain says, wow, I like that. So what I do is that I go to my backup account, and this is kind of like my trash account. Like, this is like, if I want to binge, then I go to my trash account, and this is, I just throw stuff here. And then if I want to watch that here,
3 supplements
so here
Okay.
you have all sorts of,
Turn right.
so on here, I will see all sorts of random stuff because this is where I binge. Now, if I want to go and watch stuff that I don't want to see on my business account, but I want to still watch other things that are not going to affect my algorithm, then I might go to my backup account, which is this one. And I know my backup account from my business account because this one has a blue background. The other one has a yellow background. Make sense? So on this one, if you look at the content,
Here's
it has different things,
right?
right?
For my for a limited time.
Same advertising though. So you want to make sure you want, and just look at this, right? I was just about to exit this account, and guess what TikTok is doing? Well, look at who just said, I sent you a new message. Look at somebody just said hello. So TikTok's whole way of keeping you in their platform, we're all there, we are all TikTok's clients. So they will do whatever is in their power to keep us hooked in the app. So speaking about such, if you want to drop your videos first thing in the morning, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, as late as 10 a.m. And why do you want to drop your content in the morning? Because it's just logical. It doesn't really matter for the algorithm, but if you want the most awake people to watch your content, it just makes sense that you would drop it first thing in the morning when you're going to have the highest amount of audience versus when I used to drop it at night. So at night, I'm going to have other countries watch my content, which I may or may not want. And then I'm going to have people that are the night owls, which I may or may not want. And I want the people that are the responsible humans that are living life on a normal time, right? Not that are binge watching 5 hours of wasting hours until 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. So I drop my content. I produce my content early in the morning or late at night. And then I drop all 3 pieces or all 4 pieces all at once. Now you're thinking, I thought you were supposed to drop it at different times. So no, because think about this, right? If somebody goes to your page, and I've already been watching your content every single day, and I see that you just dropped a new video, I'm gonna go and all I have is 1 new video. I'm gonna go and then leave. But if you gave me 3 videos, the algorithm is going to push me to watch more of your content. Another thing that you want to do is that you want to be controversial. And this one is the one that I have a hard time because I've been trained way too much to be politically correct. So you want to say something like, oh my gosh, all men are cheaters. That would be really controversial. Like that would get all the men hating on me and all the women saying, oh yeah, all the, or something like, what would be another controversial thing that you could come up with, Rhonda?
Would it necessarily have to be tied to the business, or it could be just any topic and we could post it?
Yes.
I have some examples.
Go ahead.
Well, go ahead.
Why you don't need college in 2023. The real reason you can't get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Your parents are the reason you're broke. Things like that.
Yes,
Making money is
Those are
actually
good.
easy.
Those
Things
are
like
really
that.
good.
Yeah, so I would actually write those down, Mary, for all of us. Those
I
are
have
really,
them. I have them. I'll share them.
yeah, those are really, really great.
I'll put them in the 2.0 group, but I'll share them in here for Drew.
Yeah. So content like that, Drew, Jeremy, Diana, Eunice, Ruth, Jackie, is going to actually get people to actually engage with you. Because if you have a 50-50 split where people are passionate one way or the other, the people that are going to fight for you are going to comment, and the people that are going to be the haters of you are going to comment. And you want them to literally fight inside of the comments. What's going through your mind, Drew? I just saw you like this is insane.
Yeah, I was just like, I hate having my face on video. Like now I'm just like, but I could be controversial, but I would probably get kicked off.
Actually, no. I mean, it depends, right? If you say raping is good, that probably would get you, that probably would get you out of there. There are
Yes.
certain words that you cannot say. That's pretty controversial and that would be pretty bad. So it depends. If you get too much into politics and too much into religion, it could get you banned. There are, if you say retarded, it'll automatically ban you from TikTok. If you say retarded, what are the other three? Do you guys remember? There's four words
You
that will.
can't say gay,
Oh yeah, you can't say gay.
can't say gay, you can't say retarded, you can't say
Well, that's scary.
talking about mental illness. Remember, Jack, we were talking
Yeah,
about that.
mental health. You can talk about
So,
mental
so
health.
that, like, all the people that are in the mental health sector, they have to be super careful what they say, which is such a bummer.
Yeah.
I've been watching since we had that conversation, Mary. And there are a lot of people out there that are doing the mental health side of it that are doing fine. It's just that you have to be careful not to say, crazy, or you have to be really careful. I've been watching a lot of them lately.
Well, if you, Jackie, if you actually email TikTok, they'll give you the four.
Okay.
Because it was my agency that actually there's Drew, there's actually a TikTok agency, and if anybody, the only requirement that my TikTok agency has is that you have to go live at least once a week in order for you to be a part of the TikTok agency, or that you plan to go live at least once a week. But that TikTok agency, they talk directly with TikTok, and they gave us, the retarded. You can't say retarded. You can't say the things that we just talked about. So in contra, the four V's, and then the main one is that you want to be controversial at least once a week, because you want to bring the algorithm over to you, and you want to bring haters. Now, here's another thing you want to keep in mind is that once you bring the haters, they're really going to passionately hate you. So you have to protect your mental health because you don't stop being a human. So Taylor Swift is not immune to it. Who's another? The Rachel Peterson is not immune to it. Gary Vee is not immune to it. Alex Hormozi is not immune to it. Doesn't matter how powerful you are, you still get affected by the haters. So you can have like as an ocean of good comments, and then you get like the one that says you're a total scammer. You should stop doing this because all you're doing is wanting to scam people. Almost word for word what people have told me. Right? And I would read all the other ones, and I would get to that one and I'd be like, oh my gosh, that is so mean. And then people, like I've shared many times, people will literally like get very passionate about my lips, and they'll say like, you need to stop injecting, they'll have lots of opinions about my lips, about my accent. So the word of caution is that you want to make sure that you understand that when you put controversial, that you need to stop reading the comments after 3. You read the first 3 and that's all you give yourself. Because if you put controversial, it's going to get controversial and it's going to get really heated, and people are going to come. But you do need those in order for your content to go up. Now, one of the reasons our model has a lot of traction is because there is a lot of controversial in his, because just like you, Drew, they're like, yeah, show us, prove that you actually made that much money. Yeah, whatever. Like, oh yeah, you just started, now you're like a gazillionaire, right? So there's a lot of, just the fact that he's doing what he's doing is controversial within the community of TikTok. And with that, I think I covered. Did I leave anything out, Mary, that I shared with you?
You had started talking about hashtags and what not to do. I went ahead and just posted it. Like you had said, use 3 that attract people that relates to the product you produce. And then I thought you were about to say something else.
Yes.
You were, but okay, so what was it?
So 1, you want to put 3 hashtags that are in relationship to what the content is. Then you want to put another 3 or 1 hashtag about what your niche is about, what your channel is about. But again, keep in mind, if I put something about how to make money online and I'm talking about peeing at night, that's going to get a lot of people upset. So you still have to use your brain. Don't turn your brain off, right? So don't just use hashtag uselessly. They have to make sense for the audience. And then lastly, you have to make hashtags for the audience that you want. You know, like we have one person here that, or a new client actually, that be careful who you want to attract. Because like with Jeremy, he was like, struggling, if you're struggling, I was like, why do you want to talk to the strugglers? Like, you don't want to talk to the strugglers, right? So with Jeremy, what we coined it was that he's going for the working dads. If it's a mom, you're going for the working moms. With Rhonda, we're going for professional professors. I'm just joking. But you want to hashtag the person that you're targeting. And you want to target just one person, and every one of your content needs to have that hashtag. Every one of your pieces of content, except of course the ones that are just completely not relevant, right? Like if you're talking about religion and that everybody should become, you know, a God-fearing person. Now that's controversial. That would upset a lot of people. Exactly. Let's do this. So you still have to use your brains when you're using that. Now, the other part is that hashtags could and could not work. It's very bipolar. It's very schizophrenic. The system right now on all of the platforms, hashtags are on and off, because many of us have overused them. You still want to use them because they can work on your favor. What you absolutely must use is SEO and search engine optimization words and phrases. So for instance, what I do is that I would go to TikTok, and TikTok is the best way to find, because TikTok will give you on TikTok time, right? TikTok will give you the fastest way to find anything. So let's say that I wanted to find out, make money online. So I would hit that, and then I would look at this. So now I take a screenshot of that, and then I copy these words here, right? I don't want to take you. So I would take these words, and then I would put them on my notes, and then that would become my SEO. So this would become my SEO. So I have shortcuts for my SEO. And this is what people are actually searching. What is digital marketing job? Not what is a digital marketing job, but that's what people are. So that one, and you don't want to flood your description with a bunch of SEO. So you want to put one of each. You want to put one of affiliate marketing, digital marketing, and making money online. And then you also want to take that and then tuck them away. So like, let's say that I was going to make a video, and the way that we talk about tucking away the words is that, so if I wanted to put words here, then let's say I wanted to be Alex Hormozi, I would do that. I would make it really tiny, right? And then I would tuck them away. Not tuck away completely, because then it's going to, sorry, I'm not trying to draw attention to that, gentleman, sorry. So I would tuck them away where you can't see them, right? But tuck them away so that they're still, so one of the things that I do, that one is already, so like, let's say that I wanted to put Alex Hormozi. Thank you. And then I wanted to put Alex Hormozi. I'm going to show you something. That's why I'm doing it 3 times. So I don't want the word to show Alex Hormozi. So I'm going to put 3 dots, and then I'm going to put 3 dots, and I'm going to put 3 dots. And the reason I'm going to put 3 dots is because I want to do that, and I'm going to tuck it away so that nobody can see the actual words. So that's how we do SEO hashtagging. I know that was really loud. I couldn't. Oh yeah, I could have, but I couldn't. Okay. Questions? That was a lot, I know.
I have a question. Why the 3 dots? And you leave the 3 dots so that people can see them?
So that way I can manipulate it. I can tuck it away, because if I don't have those 3 dots, when I tuck it away, the words are still showing. So let me show you.
Because I always put words on and slide it, but I never have like 3 dots like you do.
Well, you know, and it's just like when you do this a lot, you learn, you know, you learn things here and there. So if I'm gonna drop them in the bottom, right, which is usually where I drop them, then this way I can grab them and I can manipulate the words, and then I can grab them to the bottom. I can still see the dots, and I can move the dots without people actually seeing the words that are in there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, that makes sense.
Because otherwise you still see words, and it makes people, if people try to figure out what the words are, people are being distracted on the wrong thing. Right? So
Mhm.
when people focus on what the message is versus the words that you tucked away.
Right. Okay. Do you think that our model, I mean, look, he posted his first video, his second video, and he hit it big right up from the start. And I was wondering, well, is it because he's just so young in the way he presented himself? But there's a lot of other young, how old did we say he is? 23-year-olds out there that they're not making it big like him.
So
So-
there's a lot of things that he did, just like I've suggested, and you're gonna think like I sound like a broken record. He did what I've always suggested. What he did is that if you listen to all of what he's saying at the beginning, his mom gave him a few referrals, right? So one of his first sales was from someone he knew in his inner circle. So he wasn't afraid to tell everybody what he was doing. Now, he didn't do MLM-ish. He didn't make a list of 100 people and start calling everybody, but people that he could target, because the product the product that some of us promote is a product that is a marketing product, and it's a product that people can make money online. So that product, he was selling it to real estate agents, to different people. So if you listen to all of his videos, you see that he's talking to other people. He sold it to a gym guy, you know, so he's not just selling on social media, right? And all of you have watched me do it. You know, like when I started talking to Jeremy, I didn't start talking to Jeremy and I said, come buy my stuff, right? I started having a conversation with Jeremy, and then when the time was right, I proposed something to him. So the same thing with Mary. Mary and I had a relationship. When the time was right, Mary said, you need to buy this from me right now so that we can take care of this. Let's handle the situation, because the time was right, right? She and I both knew that we needed to make an executive decision for our core inner circle. And she proposed a solution that I needed, and we went with it. So one, Rhonda, no one I know, there is not one single person, including myself. And Eunice, what the heck? Did you do your question? I almost forgot it. Wow, Mary, you're the freaking bomb. Maria Lupita, before you leave, can you explain? I almost missed it. That's what you gotta speak, girl. Okay. Maria Lupita, before you leave, can you explain what the 100 days of 100 minutes to 100,000 working material is? Okay. So I'm going to explain that, Eunice. Thank you. I almost missed it. Did I miss anything else? Yes. So Rhonda, to your question, there is no one that I know, no one that is putting a minimum of 13 hours every single time, every single day, dedicated. Now, I take that back. Some of us in this Zoom do know one additional person. Do know one additional person that she works. She's a worker.
Nonstop.
Nonstop, yes, nonstop. Other than that person and this gentleman, they both put me to shame. Now, with what Eunice's question was, when recently I was asked, oh, Jeremy said, so what I have is that anybody here, if you don't already have my 100 days to 100,000, then whenever you go to my all day freedom, then you get access to my 100 days to 100,000 Alex Hermosi $12,000 worth of training. It's completely free. And that training is $12,000 worth of training that I didn't produce it, I didn't create it, but Alex Hermosi says, take this product, give it away to other people, and please share it freely, right? So he tells me and he tells all of us to share his content freely. So I have that as one of my freebies that I give away when somebody signs with my, what is it called, Mary? My lip capture, my,
Hold on, you just stole it from me. When someone signs up in your funnel.
my
Is that what you're-
my lead capture page. Yeah, my
Oh,
lead
yeah,
capture.
your capture, yeah,
Yeah.
where you're
Oh.
capturing the email.
So whenever somebody comes there, 3 days or 2 days in my email sequence, I have one email that gives away $12,000 worth of trainings. And in that training, Alex Hermosi teaches people how to go from how to make $100,000 in 100 days by doing 100 minutes of work every single day. But this 100 minutes, they have to be continuous minutes. So write this down. They have to be continuous minutes for 100 continuous days. That's the only way that it works. Most people don't get that because they break those 100 minutes. Now, some people, like Jeremy says, oh yeah, I spend my 100 minutes learning. No, it's income producing activity. So me learning from the course that I sell, that's not high income producing activity. It has to be income producing activity. If I go and I network for 2 hours or 100 minutes, that is income producing activity. But if I go and I binge on wasteful content that has nothing to do with networking in my niche to get more clients, that's not income producing activity. That's just me wasting 5 hours of my life. So when it comes to the 100 minutes to 100 days to 100,000 with the Alex Hermosi rule of 100, then you have to have 100 minutes of 100 days continuous on both, but they have to be to having producing income producing content. If I spend 100 minutes just producing videos and I never post them, and I never go and I network, then that's not 100 minutes and it's not going to get me to the result that is going to make me money. Now, to Rhonda's question, the reason this gentleman, if you actually study him, he's produced really good content that most people are not willing to do. I mean, for me, even though I'm following his model, it still takes me longer than it used to take me with my janky videos of putting words on a video, right? So his content is much higher quality than mine because it shows, because he cuts every dead air that could ever be in, and that takes a lot of time. He's very conscientious about having good lighting, about having good sound. He has a lot of things that he's not explaining he's doing, but when you know about good content, about high quality content and low quality content, is when you listen to what TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of the other ones, they teach you that low quality content is when, like for instance, like we go back to Jeremy. That's good enough for a Zoom, but if he was making content right now, that would not be good. It's too dark. So you want to have something that is going to be, like for instance, I have one of these little lights, right? So if I have the light like this, you see how there you go. Exactly. You see how much different that is. So I have to move the lighting so that it makes sense for my face and for the space that I have. And lighting travels differently depending on how your space is. So you have to be very protective of your light, of your sound, and then of the background that you have. So one of the other things that Rachel said is that I used to be highly criticized because even though it's attractive, it's also distracting when you're walking on the beach. And you're walking on the beach and trying to talk, I know, I know, Drew. If you're walking on the beach and trying to talk, it's distracting to the audience because it's too noisy and there's too much going on. But if I have this sound here with the lighting, and it would actually be better if I have one of those fluorescent colorful lights, and then that's the one thing that I'm missing, then this is a good background. But if you don't have a good background, then just order one. It's a shower curtain that you can have, and it's super cheap. You just order a shower curtain, and then you just put it with painter's tape, or you can just put it over a frame. You can just get creative. But you want to have something that is just non-distracting. Let me see. What am I missing? Am I missing anything, Mary? Tuck it away. Tuck it away.
Well, I just want to let everybody know that as I've been putting notes in the chat box, I've also been putting them into a running Google Doc, and I'm going to drop it in for you all. So if you did miss notes or if you came in late, it'll all be there for you. And I went ahead and put in the Alex Hormozi Rule 100. I just want to let you know that this is the book that she's talking about, that comes out of 100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. I don't know if you can see that, but as Maria said, if you just sign up in her funnel, you're going to receive the Alex Hormozi products from her for free. And she does promote a lot for Alex Hormozi. And that's one of his biggest deals that you'd read about in this book, is that he gets what he calls the Hormozi Nation, everybody who believes in the fact that he gives so much value for nothing. Because one of his big quotes is give until they ask. It's 6 gives until they say it 6 times. Give until they ask. And that's one of the coolest things about him, that he provides so much value. So I'm going to drop all of that in there. But the funniest part of all is, while I was looking for a video of him explaining his own Rule 100, guess who showed up as the search? You.
Oh, I did? Yeah.
Yeah, you show up as one of the searches. So I'll include that video as well.
So one of the reasons for why I show up in Alex Hormozi's search. So some people say, well, why are you putting Alex Hormozi and saying Alex Hormozi in all of your stuff? For that very reason, because Alex Hormozi spends a lot of time on his craft and on social media. So I want to come up whenever people are searching for Alex Hormozi. And I intentionally do that. So I intentionally do Alex Hormozi, the Rule of 100, in 100 days to 100,000. I intentionally do those keywords, and
it's called leveraging, and he teaches you to do that. Like, he's telling you to do it. So Maria's following his lead.
And you want, there's words that I use when I'm speaking. Like, for instance, I will make sure that I say Alex Hormozi, Jesse Isler, Sarah Blakely, Rachel Peterson. And I used Rachel Peterson several times on my videos because I want to leverage her audience. And whenever somebody searches for her name, the more that I say her name, and the more that name is on my SEO, meaning that the words, I'm either saying the words or the words are tucked away, the algorithm is going to pick it all up. Questions? Eunice, did I miss anything? Or Ruth, or anybody else? Did I miss anything? Or do you need more clarity? Oh, let me go back to what Rhonda was saying also. So another thing that you want to understand is that literally our model spends 6 hours, Rhonda, networking with other like-minded people in our niche, and also people that could be potential clients. So if I go and I spend 2 hours commenting on yours and Mary's and Jeremy's and Mel's and Drew's, guess what you're going to do? You're going to like me, and you're going to go to my content. And if I have really good content, you're going to start benching it. And if I tell you, you should really binge my content because I give you a lot of tips, guess what you're going to do? You're going to binge it, because it is done in a way that is bingeable. And because it's a story, right? Every video tells you the next story. So it's almost, his content is almost like a soap opera, if you think about it, right? So why is he getting more sales than we are? Because he's doing a great job, and he's putting in the time. He's not only putting in the time of connecting with other people that are already bought the product, so then they come and they cheer him on, and they look at him. I mean, look, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us right here in this room that are following his content. He doesn't even know, right? I mean, he knows about me because I reached out, and some of you know what happened with that reach out. And we're not going to say that because this is going to go public. But with that being said, there's other people. I'm sure I'm not the first one that said, oh my gosh, let's study that as a model. So when you produce really good content, and this is why Alex Hermosi versus, so I have 2 experts, right? I have a social media expert, Rachel Peterson, and I have Alex Hermosi saying, well, you can be cute and trendy, or you can be trendy and cute and provide, good information like Rachel says and go viral. Or you can just be a really good informational provider, with all the B's and the C. But I fall more on the side of Alex Hermosi, right? Because I've been that way for a long time, and I'm in my game when I do that. But I also know that I need to give value and entertainment to my audience. So that's why I added this one, because of what I know that I need to do for my audience. So I needed to come in with a happy medium that it would still be authentically me. So I'm not going to be doing dancing or, showing that I'm washing the dishes, because I don't enjoy washing the dishes. Just total side note. So what I did is that in order for me to compensate, come on. The power of filters. So in order for me to compensate,
I like it when I'm aware.
in order for me to compensate for what Rachel said, right? I don't want to go do the dancing and everything, but I'm very big on manifesting and using manifestation. So I'm going to be utilizing manifestation as my viral content, so to speak. So this resonates with me, and this aligns with who I am. I'm not going outside of who I am to do what Rachel recommended. So if you see here, I gave her a thank you. So I utilize, I gave her credit for giving me that tip, but I'm also branding myself, aligning with her, because if somebody searches for her, it's very likely that I could come up as well. And then I aligned it with myself. And then I put, as you can see down here, Rhonda, you see those 3 dots? So
Yep.
there's like a whole lot of words that are there, but you can't see them. But I know that they're there because it's the 3 dots. And I have names in there that I would not want to share with anybody, that those names are there. So I never want those names to accidentally show up. So if somebody's searching for certain names, my name will pop up, and they'll be like, why is her name popping up? Because my SEO has those words. Okay. So back to your really good question, and then Eunice's reminder. The reason our model is having more success is because not only is he doing the activity that he learned from the course, he's also being very adamant about doing the activity that is going to make him sales. So when people reach out to him and they're not a potential client, and they're not someone that aligns with what he feels are in his business, he has very clear boundaries. Very clear boundaries.
Basically, if it's not an income producing activity, he's not going to do it. He's not going to put 1 minute into it.
I can't speak on that, but I can only say that you can see that he's very, very clear on, for me, I now gave myself permission to help 3 people a week. and then to give, to give, like today, this is my give. This is my give on giving, giving what I've learned about TikTok, and it's my give. But I also want to make sure that I'm doing income producing activity and I'm talking with people that can buy my product. So I have another 2 potential clients that they've been watching me for over half a year. And every single time they reach out to me, all they say is that they're completely broke, that they're almost homeless. I have no business talking with them. And I've been trying to rescue them. That's not my job. My job is not a rescue mission nonprofit. So you see what I mean, Rhonda? So when it comes to
Right.
what your question is, that he's very intentional on dropping content. And if you actually watch his content, you're like, he's selling here, but he's not salesy. He's educational, entertaining, and then he makes you feel like, man, he's right. I should just go ahead and get it.
Right, right.
I feel dumb not buying it. Because like, heck,
Exactly.
he made, I think by week 6, he had already made 80,000. And then by week 7, he said that his new goal, because when he started, Drew, if you start watching his content, when our model started, he wanted to make 1 sale by December. That was his original goal. So he skipped from going out, from having, from doing this with friends, as he calls it, girl, I stopped doing this, right? I stopped doing this, or drink days. I think he calls it drink days. So he completely what is it called? Ghost mode. You've seen that video, going ghost mode. So he actually went in ghost mode for 13 hours. And there's days that he went longer, but he realized that he needed to create some boundaries for himself. So he actually cut, but he will still do a ton of work. Even when he doesn't look like he's working, he's doing a ton of work. So that's why he's doing better than most, in all rationality.
Does he say that? Okay, so he says that his mom bought the course.
No, that his mom recommended some people to buy the course.
Oh, his mom recommended. Okay, I thought, okay, never mind then. Okay.
Yeah, his mom was at the hairdresser and she was bragging about how well he was doing, really applying himself. And that's when the hairdresser basically said, "Oh, I've been wanting to learn things in order to, make our shop better," basically. I think that was the premise of it. And then, and then it was just word of mouth like that. It kind of went on fire for him.
Okay, I thought maybe his mom bought it just to help him out initially to get it started. And
no, and I think that little bit of fire that happened to him right at the beginning made him see the potential that some of us that have been in it for a little bit longer, usually kids that are younger only think that it could be a digital product, and only could help a digital person. But he was able to see, oh, this is going to help brick and mortar businesses too. So he very early on was a proponent of that. And I think that helped him like left and right.
yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Go ahead.
What I think, if we can't say make money, I can't change my all of my profile. I can't edit for one for another week and then another one until the first part of the month. But so if we can't use the hashtags, that's easy enough. But then you're saying that we cannot speak those words either in the video.
It's preferable that you don't, because what Rachel said is that she has one or a couple of clients that are like huge affiliates and digital marketers, and they're having a huge hard time. And they're big, like they're not new to the space, and TikTok is not being forgiven. And if you look at Gary Vee, at Gary's Vee content and Alex Hormozi content in relationship to their following, they're hurting. Like if you look at, you know, percentage wise, right? So percentage wise, if you look at the amount of following that Gary Vee has to the amount of views that he's getting is very disproportional. But then you have someone like our model, but our model is freaking working the heck out of his work. And he's implementing everything. He's implementing the SEO. So everything that the course teaches, that the roadmap teaches, it teaches SEO. It teaches exactly how to do roadmap, how to do TikTok. Everything that is being taught, he not only speaks about it, but he utilizes every single thing that, because
He's a textbook model student for this course. Like he is owning every bit of it.
Mhm.
So there have been some of those bigger affiliates. They're being more creative with words to say money, like they're saying the green stuff or the greenery. I mean, they are saying words that mean money. They're just not saying the word money.
So Rhonda,
So we
one of the
could
things
say
that I
that. We could say the green stuff.
Yeah, you can say the green stuff. But one thing that I actually am doing is that I'm saying what the money would do. So if you want to have more freedom, more time freedom, if you want to be able to pay off your bills, right? Because all of that means money. You're just not saying the word money. So what I'm saying is the pain. If you say time freedom, that's not as attractive for the brain than if you're just sick and tired of somebody else calling your shots and somebody else being in control of your life, maybe you want to look at digital marketing. So you
Okay.
talk about not necessarily, I wouldn't suggest the green stuff, Mary, because it doesn't really help the algorithm. But if you say paying off bills, paying off debt, and talking about the pain. Now, Jackie, are you still with us? I have a question about that with you.
Yes, I was eating my dinner.
Oh, that sounds good.
Sorry.
So do you have a problem with speaking to pain, or what happened with that whole thing, or do you want to speak on that? Because what humans actually are more responsive to is to answer to pain versus solutions. So you have to say the pain, the consequence of them not getting your solution, and then how you're going to help them. But if you talk about, you want financial freedom, it kind of goes in and out, in one ear, out the other. So what are
So
your
did you,
thoughts?
oh, what are my thoughts? You still were asking me that question?
Yeah. Because
For
I remember
me,
you had a big issue or something like that.
I do have a big issue. I have a big issue with pain point marketing. I just struggle because I don't know. I like I said in my video, I'm an empath, so I worry about what that other person is feeling on the other side. So it's hard for me to separate the two. So when I say, I mean, I don't know, I don't really use that kind of stuff. Hence, probably why I am where I am. But I'm working on it. I'm working on figuring out my way of doing it without it feeling icky. Because it feels icky to me when I say, are you broke? Or, that kind of stuff. And then I go, and I freeze and I don't know what to say. So I struggle with it. And I didn't know that was my struggle until we're in a new space. And now I'm like, oh, that's what it was,
Well, and to your
or
point,
false
right? Like,
promises. I can't do false promises or anything like that kind of stuff. I just,
well, and there's nothing about false promises, but like you're saying, you want to find your happy medium, right? So for me,
right.
I don't want to go and show that right now I'm overweight. I don't need to go show that my belly's too big, right?
Yeah.
Even though that would be controversial and that might attract more views, that's just not how I work, right? That's just not.
Right.
But for Rachel Peterson, that's her game. That worked for her. So I need to find something that is in alignment with how I work and what I'm comfortable doing, and I'm going to be comfortable 5 years from now. So for me, I need to do something trendy and something that is entertaining. So that manifestation for me, that's that result. For you, maybe you don't want to say, are you broke? But maybe you want to find another way of
Right.
an empath. You know, how do empaths still talk about a lot of freaking pain?
Yeah.
Empaths, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
they
why
do.
you guys are drawn, you know,
Yeah.
because you guys are very much into pain. And that's what really drives you, right? So maybe you talk about as an empath, you can feel this energy, you can feel that energy, you can feel, and you can talk about the negative energies or the painful energies or the hurting energies that you feel, you know. And again, that's something that you're going to find. But for me, Rhonda, one of the things that I realized is that, well, good to see you, Jeremy. I'm glad you were able to make it. And I'll close up with this. The one thing that you want to make sure that you do is that, again, our model is really good about doing this, is that he's talking to the pain without calling it talking to the pain. If you are not talking to the pain and the consequence, like he talks about how he hated his job, he hated everybody that he worked with. Well, guess what? I've never had a job that I hated, but a lot of people identify with that. A lot of people hate where they work. A lot of people hate the people that they work with. So maybe for Jackie and you, Rhonda, maybe that's not, but you can talk about how you hate not being with your grandbaby, how you hate not being able to have the means to be able to be with your students and at the same time be with your grandbaby. You hate that. That's a pain. That's speaking to a real human pain that applies to Rhonda. But look, I would love to be a grandmother. And when I get to be a grandmother, even though I don't have children, I'm going to hate being away from my grandbabies. Right? So that would appeal to me. So you want to find a pain, because the human condition, unfortunately, that's how we are more prone to watch something that is going to talk to my pain than a solution. Because otherwise you're going to have someone like Drew. You're going to have someone like Drew say, well, heck, how do we know that he's actually making that money? If all you say is, look at, I just made over $100,000. That speaks to no one. And then you're going to have people like Drew say, well, show me, prove to me. And then even if they show you, someone like Drew would still be saying, I don't believe it. He probably made all that up. You see what I mean? He actually grabbed his computer and refreshed in real time to show. Yeah.
But
He
he
did.
didn't, he said he was not going to be doing that anymore. He just wanted to prove it once so that the haters would stop hating.
And he's still doing it though. He's still
Oh yeah, he said he was only going to do it once, but anyway.
Look, it's like you have to cater to your audience, you know. And for me, unfortunately, I want to do what I want to do, but I'm running a business. Jackie, Rhonda, me, right? So I have to keep that in mind, that if I want to run a business, I still have to put in the shelf, and I'm the shelf, right? This is our, what you call it, this is our prime real estate. So in this prime real estate, I'm the product that they're buying. So I gotta tell them a good story that is going to sell. So with that is all of the points. And make sure that you're controversial. Whatever you do, make sure you're controversial, and make sure you don't read more than 3 comments, because it will ruin your days. But it will help your sales, it will help your business, it will help everything in your social media. I'm still working on not being so politically correct. So any questions?
Question.
Yes.
If I wanted to do a TikTok account, should I set up a separate email account just to sign up for it? So that way it's just TikTok.
Yes, because so what's going to happen, Drew, is that anybody, and I wouldn't attach your phone, right? What's going to happen is that if you put your email address that a lot of people have, when they get on TikTok, they're going to say, oh, this guy over here has your email. You have this email in somewhere of the vicinity of your human experience. That email is somewhere in your contacts, whether it's your computer, your phone, somewhere. So if you have an email that somebody already has, they can be coming to your TikTok. So you want to create an email that you don't want to have them come look at your new TikTok, and you want to have an email dedicated to just your new business account. So yes, that's a great question. And you want to make sure that it's an email that you remember, and an email that you remember because this, and you want to make sure that it's an email. I was like, what happened? Because all of a sudden you went from the bottom to the top. So you want to make sure that it's you want to make sure that you write, because true stories. People make emails, they don't remember the actual name of the email. So you want to write it down. You want to write down your password, and then you want to write down the password of the specific account. So you want to have 2 TikTok accounts, a backup account and your business account. So great.
All in one email or a separate?
2 emails. Every account has a different email. And whenever you open an account with TikTok, you want to open an account based on an email versus a phone number. They want you to use a phone number, but don't do that. And if you want to, I'll be happy to help you set up an account.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Baby steps. Jackie.
So I already put my phone number in when I got my first account. So
Okay.
it's in there. So,
So just leave it there.
oh, can I take it out?
Yeah, you can take it out.
Okay.
Yeah, you can take
Okay.
it out. You can even put a Google number. I mean, I have it on my actual OG account. I have my phone number because if something happens, I want to quickly access it. But I no longer recommend, and it's no longer recommended for you to have a phone number because it attracts a lot. Like every time I log in, it says your friends are here or so and so is here, and just like I don't want the other humans. Like I want new people.
Right. Okay.
So that's a great question. Yeah. Anybody
And
else?
whenever I tried to go start my new account, I tried to actually even make another one, and it said too many profiles are attached to this account, so I couldn't make another one with my phone number. That's just
Oh
a
yeah,
hint.
yeah. With your phone
Yeah.
number, it's like Google. You can
Yeah.
you can only be attached to one phone number. I mean, at least as far as now, you can only have one account per phone number, and that's what you want to attach it to an email address versus a phone number. Rhonda, you look like you have a question. You have
Yes, I do. On my profile picture, I have 4 accounts. 3 of them they all 4 pretty much have the same photo. 3 are the exact same. One has a little bit different background, but I think the 2 photos possibly were taken at school, like professional. And therefore I can't change the background. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's not like bright.
Sure, you can. Yeah, you can send it to me. So there's an app called any background can be changed. We live in an AI world.
Yes, and I've seen you do it in the audits before, in our
So it's
other
called
group.
Photo and I'm sure Mary will be ahead of me. So it's called Photo Room.
Photo room, okay.
And it's a free app. And you
Okay.
just put your photo in, or if you can figure
Hold it
out.
back up again, Maria.
You got it?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I was just trying to change it. I couldn't get it, but okay, I didn't have. I need that app is what I need to do.
Photo Room is super easy to be able to put any background.
Okay, I will do that app and get it and change it and
Awesome.
make it consistent. Thank you.
Awesome. Anything else? Going once, going twice. Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for joining me tonight. I hope that this was valuable and helpful. And I wish you that we have 21 days left of this year. And just remember, a lot of games have been won on the last seconds of a game. So instead of planning for 2023, instead of planning for 2024, know that there's still so much to gain in this end of a year because people are buying things and they could be buying whatever offer you have. So with that, have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Bye.
This was incredible.
Thank you,
Yay,
Maria.
Thank you.
So
I
much
appreciate that more
information.
than you'll ever know.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.